This one wants some basic pull downs. I've noticed I'm kind of doing my pull downs with like just a shoulder width grip, which I do feel. Alright, that felt okay. That felt it. Alright, one thing that's kind of funky with it, I almost feel like it's hitting my mid traps. Like, I don't know, you kind of have to try it. But instead of feeling like I'm really pulling with my lats, it's almost like when I bend my head forward like that, it was turned into like kind of a high wide row. But definitely added to the back pump for sure. Alright, I lied. One more set of pullovers. And then we're done. This fan, especially in a row consistently, better off you're going to eat gains wise, and I can say that with 100% freaking certainty. I kind of got a little bit of a second wind after the third set of, that third set, so that would have been the first set of pull downs. That first working set, oof, I felt like I was kind of dogging it. But a little bit of a turnaround in terms of, honestly, it might have been just a minimum mentality, you know? Like if you're doing your lift, and like the first 3 reps, maybe you're not crazy hype, then I've got a little bit of extra shit to finish. So, what do? Do I just finish it after this when I get home, and then just sleep until I'm fully slept, wake up tomorrow, or do I go to sleep and finish it? Part of me, yeah, I think I want to just get it done, and then finally end the semester with a crazy long night's rest. Of 5 hours or less. Honestly, I don't even want to bring up how much sleep I've been getting the last few nights. It's embarrassing. But definitely gonna change that over the course of the next few days, combined with actually getting my food down, get back up to 250-ish pretty quick. 260, don't worry. You'll see that weight update. 260 morning weight after the bathroom. So let's wait for it. That kind of brings up a pretty worthwhile topic. When it comes to weighing yourself, I think that having a scale in the gym is pretty much worthless. Just because by the time that you actually go into the gym, let's say it's going at like 6 o'clock or something, for sure, and it really doesn't look clean. So, just really change the best time to track your weight, if you do want to track that kind of stuff and see a trend line on the heart, is get up, go to the bathroom in the morning, and then before eating or drinking anything, then you hop on the scale. So that's going to give you a repeatable state, which you'll be able to actually day to day, week to week, and month to month, and see if you're actually making changes. Because if you're not, like, that data is really, it's not even speaking to you, it's yelling at you that you got to change something with your routine. And if you're trying to lose weight and you're just floating the same fucking, 2 months down or whatever, some shit's got to change. And if you try to do and you're trying to for simplicity, and that means 500 calories extra per day for 30 days. That's going to be, what was that, 15,000 calories? So I forget how 15,000 calories is, that'd be 5 pounds worth of fat. But in a bulking context, of course, that's going to result in some muscle growth, plus a little bit of extra fat growth. It's just kind of, or fat deposit. It's kind of the nature of being bulk. But in a dieting context, this math is a lot easier. You don't have to think about muscle gain, but later fat gain, or that's it. So if you're trying to lose 5 pounds a month, because then you're just saying 2,000 calories of what? What are you talking about? So that's where being a little bit more knowledgeable about macros and grams of protein and fats and carbs and high satiating foods or low density, low calorie density foods. That's where learning about that kind of stuff is going to make it much easier to make meals and that are actually not keep you from being super hungry and make it easier for you to stick to maybe your 2,000 calories per day.
There's such variability in terms of the core temperature and things like that that might become altered in a state of non-recovery. But grip strength is very much tied to performance and recovery. And when I was at the Mets, we used to actually take grip strength measurements of a baseline in spring training all the time. Now, obviously, as a baseball player, you're gripping a bat, you're a pitcher, you're gripping a ball. Having good grip strength isn't important. So if you notice you had a very weak grip, it's just a good focal point of a training. Now, we do in spring training, we do sort of a baseline entry level measurement, measure the recovery. I just gave it away. I'm looking at the old-fashioned dial controls.
It's like an old Macintosh. There's a huge market for them in old phones. Kids, keep your phones now. In 30 years, the main phone now is worth a lot of money.
A lot. So, I wound up.
That's how you sleep position. One of the major changes that I made to my sleep behavior is to not have the sheets tucked in at the end of the bed. And I'll tell you, this had a profound impact on several things. First of all, my feet have always been the bane of my existence. Both from a bunch skateboarding, and I noticed when I'd run, I'd get shin splints, and then I started to notice that my feet sort of, you're the PT, they were kind of floppy, and it's as if I was pointing my toes slightly all the time at rest. And I realized that based on listening to you.
I die not knowing the answer to this. I told you how much money I make. 80 grand is not going to kill me.
But also, by the way, I just want to add this, that, again, this is one of the reasons why we like you, is you didn't know what the results were. You think you know what the results are, but the study could have been published
put my mouth,
and completely crushed you. Yeah.
All his research would show that, single joint movements are inferior, or high volume is inferior to low volume, and he was bashing the hip thrust from day one. So I never knew whether student Barbalo was a student, were they in cahoots together? Was Marquez Barbalo, was he? And I'm like, okay, then if it is, you owe me a beer. If it's not, you owe me a beer, so I owe him a beer. Everyone got higher EMG activity with the hip thrust. They also felt it more with the hip thrust. He asked all the subjects, what did you feel more? And every subject said, I feel my glutes working more with hip thrust.
So
But they got
I'm
equal growth.
surprised, but
I've trained like Urishna and Bobby Mono. These are wellness competitors. When I moved to Florida, and I'm like, guys, you're being told that your legs are will tire your glutes. You can get your legs big anytime. You gotta spend like a whole year growing your glutes. And I want to train your glutes 3 times a week. Quit doing squats, leg press, hack squats, leg extensions, lunges. Let's just do glutes 3 times a week, and I'm gonna be strong. I'm gonna be doing hip thrusts. This machine I have, it's like a Bentley back extension, and the gluteator, it's like targeted glutes, and this multi-hip. I was like, so you're making me do a piriformis exercise? No, what's the glute max? But basically, when you get to the bottom of the squat, and EMG has shown this consistently for a while, you get on the very bottom squat, you do feel your glutes a little bit, but EMG, at least when the surface electrodes, only gets like 10% of max. It's weird, because I feel it when I'm in a pause squat. Eugene Tao, all these guys just started parroting them. And that's when I kind of realized, like, oh my god, like, you want to make money, position yourself against me, and go against all my, what you think about that back then. I was like, don't do hip thrust, do the calves glute bridge. Get the hip thrust pulse. Like, it's just a lot of
quality ball. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Because, like, with that research, I'm like, that can't be right. Like, you can't. And I hate when people, because, like I said, I'm in the gym working with people. There's no, can I say the alpha? There's no fucking way that training the glutes 1 day a week, equating volume. So these girls, every bikini, and that's what, you gotta look at the pros. So I love full body training back in the day. I remember one guy's like, so you think all the bodybuilders are doing it wrong? And I'm like, okay, I've always no.
Full of crap and fake, and you know right away. Yeah, this is the part again that annoys me with studies is they don't take into account multiple individuals. They don't take into account different populations. They don't take into account length of time of the study, like 8 to 12.
To weight training.
Yeah, but that much of a great game.
Yeah, it was 11 minutes, and I'll never do it again. It's like I've deadlifted 405 for 20. I'll never do that again. It's good to take, but you've done those breathing squats. I think I did 225 for 30.
Ugh.
But it was like 9 minutes. It was like 8, and then
Oh, it's terrible.
2 more, and it's just this. So I saw amazing results from it, but I think that might screwed me because the logic was with Arthur Jones and Riders for PRs, and then yes, gains come to a halt. So then you switch to a new variation. You do pause rep something. You do front squats. You do sumo deads. You do deadlifts. Something that's different, but then you're laying a baseline and then trying to beat it. And it still lays the foundation for what I do. It's so funny because it's taken me a few months to get my girls to have buy-in in Fort Lauderdale, but now they're all loving it. And I'm finally, this last week, I had all my girls crushing bars, and they're like, wow, like I'm starting to see results. People are commenting on my glutes, and people are, getting strong. And you only get 4 reps, but you're like, oh, and it didn't feel anything on that strain. Or like, maybe an isometric thing. Maybe there's always, if you've got 10 minutes and you need to do a quick arm workout, you do drop sets. And supersets.
Nobody ever applies advanced studies that I've seen. Nobody uses the.
But it's like knowing when to use that.
Exactly.
And like
That's why they're advanced.
you talked about pre-exhaustion.
Yeah.
And then you said research turned out to be opposite on that. When flies and
Body way more than bands. I can do bands very frequently. I put chains on the bar, and it speeds me up. Totally different. So I'm going to program them totally different. You wouldn't know this if you looked at them like data. You actually apply it and see for yourself, and then you know, bands, I can do that way more.
I'm 47. Low bar squats give you this, we call the arm pain of death. Did you ever get the arm pain from low bar squats in here?
Just because you're
Yes, it's and then your back sucks, and it's not a muscle, it's like a bone. I think it comes from the nerves. It's like to break you. gaining momentum, and everyone was like, you know, this exercise is dangerous. It was like, look, we were trainers. I've never had someone not get a good workout. I've never had someone who couldn't push the sled.
Yeah.
And it's so true. We start to get so critical, and that's back when the movement screams where you gotta be, you know, and she's like, I can give anyone an awesome workout. And sleds are amazing for that. Also, backward sled drags.
So amazing.
If you have knee problems,
It's wonderful.
use it as a warm up. And your knee pain goes away, and all of a sudden now you do your next exercise pain free.
Yeah.
It's such a good tool. I love every tool. And that's what makes me mad is that, well, I just geek out on that stuff, but now it's like, they're saying, well, hip thrust, like a lot of long length people, like I heard Mike Israel tell us, hip thrust would be good if you could design a special machine, a way to make it really hard at the bottom. The problem with that is that it pitches you, and it's so uncomfortable at the bottom when you have a heavy load.
I think that would be fine for people who are really good at hip thrusting. But I think it would be terrible for the people that we talked about earlier who have trouble activating their glutes. You want the activation to get at the top, because that's where they can finally squeeze the glutes. I think if you got someone like that and had it made it a machine so it was heavy at the bottom and easy at the top, they would have trouble. It would actually work pretty well.
Also, length changes, so all the growth would then become.
But it's too myopic because here's what's missing. Okay, great. We have 20 studies that show that training muscle and stretch position is superior for hypertrophy. You know what else those studies showed? That mid-range and protracted also causes hypertrophy. Not that they didn't, and it did. It's that this is a little better, but these also did. So why are we going to avoid all of those ranges, the other ranges of motion, to go for just the one? You know what's going to happen is you're not going to get better gains. You're going to take away from the gains that you got from those other ranges. And
That's what I about. Man, someone thought that up way back then, or someone thought this up. And in studying the trends and the history of everything, I'm so fascinated.
We just
by
wrote a whole
even-
program.
I would
We just wrote
love-
old timey strength.
I would love to
It's
send
all
it
like
to you.
the bench press and like
Yeah.
we draw out back all these old
Such
movements.
a stuff like this,
We read.
Saxon, like all these.
Yes.
I made a blog post with all the lists named after people.
Like,
A lot of them are old, yeah, a lot of them are old. Yeah.
I'll send you.
Hack squats are freaking hard. Like, why
No
not?
one-
We have them in there.
No, I'm gonna send you this program because you would love it.
Yeah, you would appreciate it.
We bought a bunch of books just to get over a certain body weight.
Oh my god, in my 20s, I was always like, you get sick and you lose everything. Like,
Yeah.
Why though? You're in your peak hormonal period.
Right.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
You know, like,
It's almost like there's I don't want. I mean, this is not an accurate term, but it's almost like
4 to 6 exercises for the glutes. Then month 2, let's focus on the squat. And then I have an upper body lift to a bench or something in the military, you know, but then after that month, your knees gonna be beat up. If you're prone to getting FAI, your hips might be beat up a little bit. So then what a great time to focus on the hip thrust. It's not gonna beat up your hips and knees. So then I focus on the hip thrust that next month. So when you
That was not just the lift of the day, it was whenever I got back today, because holy crap. So I was actually supposed to be yesterday, but I got back from school on Saturday, and I just felt sick. So I rejected it. What I think to be the correct decision, I say, you know what, I need is get some sleep. And sleep, oh my god. I was sleeping at that midnight truck. I didn't wake up until 2. And I woke up and triceps, set in the thighs, like I said, push down, and then jump straight into a set and then rest. Machine dips, and then a set of preacher curls, and then rest. That sort of style. Like, I do that, but I think it's just a little bit, I almost want to say now, but I also say with as much confidence back when I did like sort of super style workouts that like saving time, I'm more efficient. So technically, getting the gym new sets.
Detectar esto. Viviendo con VIH vi que podía mantenerme indetectable con menos medicinas. Por eso cambié a Dovato.
Dovato es para algunos adultos que están comenzando el tratamiento para el VIH-1 o que están reemplazando su tratamiento actual para el VIH-1.
Detecta esto. Ninguna otra pastilla completa para el VIH usa menos medicinas para ayudar a mantenerte indetectable que Dovato.
No tomes Dovato si eres alérgico a sus ingredientes o si tomas Dofedride. Tomar Dovato con Dofedride puede causar efectos secundarios graves o mortales. La hepatitis B puede volverse más difícil de tratar mientras tomes Dovato. No dejes de tomar Dovato si...